Hey, what's going on? Welcome everybody to the podcast called The Industry. I'm your host, your favorite bartender in the DFW. My name is Chris. This podcast is talking about the restaurant industry, shining a light on it. We will be discussing and sharing our stories and our experience that we go through in the world and that what we go through in the restaurant industry. We also be talking about things that's trending in the world. The industry will be out every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Please follow and subscribe at The Industry. Also, please follow on Instagram, which I never said before, the underscore industry 24. I repeat, the underscore industry 24. All right. I got a special guest, somebody I worked with. I remember when she trained up there. Man, we had some good times. We had some bad
Oh
times. We had some
man.
falling outs. We had some good. We had some laughs. Man, we worked with each other on this. We worked the same company, but we went two different areas with each other. We
The
went to the
airport.
airport, and then we what they call since people in the restaurant industry even know who's not in the restaurant industry, is called street side, and that's just the street store. So I want to give a special shout out to somebody that's a newly mom.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank
again. No
you.
problem. Give a shout out to Anna. Introduce
Hi.
yourself.
Ana Ramirez. I recently left the industry actually,
Yeah.
but I did it from the age of 20 to I
Hmm.
guess 30 because I had her at 30. So after that, I was like, no, now I'm 31. So recently, so I was in the industry for a while, and yeah, street side. Never fucking doing that again. And in the airport,
Hmm.
and that was a whole different beast.
Oh
Oh
yeah, the
God, do you
airport.
remember?
Yeah, I
Remember?
do.
Was it OU weekend? And
No,
you're
no, no,
what?
no. It was
What?
Oregon, Ohio
Yeah,
State. Yes,
and
yeah.
and like you and I came in so hungover, and we were like, "Oh God."
Man, because I wasn't. I was used to being busy when we was on street side, but
But
that's a
God,
different
that was
busy.
a
That was a
different
whole
busy.
busy because you got people from that game, people from like just like the coaching staff,
It
everybody just
like the
coming in
drunk
there.
people that were walking in, they're like, "Hey, can I get?" And you clearly can tell they're drunk, and they're
Oh
like, "Can we
yeah,
get a Bloody Mary?" And you're like, It's 5 a.m. What do you mean?
yeah.
No, we serve
Oh
at
yeah.
7."
And they get mad. So you guys not, but why you guys not serving alcohol? Yeah, I see y'all got liquor behind you. I'm like, bro, like it's
It's
literally
not 7.
5 in the
It's
morning,
5 in the
man.
morning. And I think actually that it was like a Saturday game. So this was a Sunday. And we couldn't serve till like, I think,
No,
was
no, no.
it
It was a
noon?
Monday.
It
It was
was
a
a Monday
Monday, and it
game?
was
Okay.
Tuesday. Yep. I remember I
Eh,
got called in because I didn't work
yes.
Tuesdays.
That's what I remember was I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And our GM at the time, he was
Yeah.
like, college football. And I was like, what? He goes, you didn't think? I was like, no. He goes, you're at the airport now, honey.
Yeah.
And that day hit me like a ton of bricks. Oh my God. I really am no longer on street
Yeah.
side.
Oh
I
my
can't fake
God.
it anymore.
Yeah. I remember when I first went over there to the airport for coming up from leaving street side, and I got like my first section. Hey man, I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I'm over here sweating, the AC blowing, I'm sweating, I'm nervous, I'm fumbling, I'm like, man, I'm fucking up on this order, man. How can I? It's just crazy busy. And it's a line out the door.
And the funny
And
thing
that's
is,
turnovers like,
do you remember? I remember you and I bitched because coming from street side,
yeah,
you have like a massive like 8 table section, right? And you
yeah.
come to the airport and they're like, this is your 4 table section. And you're like,
The
the
fuck?
fuck is this? Where's my
Yeah.
money? Like, and then that 4 section runs you fucking ragged the whole
Yeah.
shift
And then you have that section right
by the
by the
wall.
window, by the window, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to sit right there because they can see the planes.
Or the security one. I had that one. Like we would have the
Oh
one where you
yeah.
could see security and people were
Yeah.
like, "Can I people watch here?" And I'm
Yep,
like,
you have
you're,
those 2
yeah, and
yeah.
you're like, you're skipping 3 people in rotation, but by all means, go ahead, take a
Yeah,
seat.
oh, I
But
hated that.
and I remember walked in, I was like, I hate this 4 table section. I ain't gonna make any money. And then I was like, hey, can we shift this a little? Like, can we make it smaller? Like, this is too much. Like, I remember thinking, like, this 4 table section is too much.
It was. What I hated about, working at the airport is the fucking mornings. It was the mornings. I couldn't do the mornings.
4 a.m. shifts, my ass, man.
Like, the morning times, like, I would literally get there at 4. Then, the messed up part about it, when you get there at 4, they will maneuver and smooth talk you into working a double, and they like, "Oh, man, I'll make sure you first cut." But this before I knew,
It was
like
8 p.m. first cut.
Yeah, 8 p.m. first cut, or not even like 8 p.m. or sometimes like 8:30 to 9, because depending on like what
The
what last
flight.
last flight. And
Ugh,
so I didn't know that. So I was like, yeah, man, like I'm pretty sure I get out like 3.
4.
Yeah. So I was like, I got it. And then like 5 o'clock came, like, yo, like, am I done? And
I
they was
re-
like, nah.
I got it was so because I remember I was always like 3 days because I was still in college, and I would be like, he would be like, yeah, you can do doubles, and in my head, 10, like you said, 6,
Yeah.
7, perfect, and I get my Chronos, and I'm like, the fuck is this? I'm in at 4 a.m. I'm like, hey, that's not what we agreed on. He goes, that's a double. Like you have to open and you work into the late shift. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, last flight. Like we have a red eye flight today, and I was like.
What is a red eye flight, man? You gotta explain this to me. I don't know what this means.
We got bamboozled by that
Yeah,
man.
we did.
Because he made it seem like you're gonna have so much money, it's gonna be great, and he's right.
The
was
money was good,
amazing.
but it's sometimes money's not.
The things we did with
Yeah.
that money, you know, I
Yeah.
remember not. I could go. I went on a cruise, 2 cruises back to back. I was gone for like a month, and my bills were still paid. You're right. But my bones, you know, like I
Yeah.
got a back that's 80 degrees, like 80 years old now.
My mental state, and I was about to have a kid.
I remember.
I was about to have
she
a
was
kid.
so pregnant at the.
Yeah,
I remember.
so
oh,
I was dealing
it
with
was
that.
so bad.
I was dealing with that. Oh, remember we used to when we got off, we took the what was that?
The Skylink to
yeah,
the
but
different.
every single terminal we walked around just to check everything out. Check out like, well, let's go check out this one, see how they operate, and see if anything is different.
And well, this was at the time where our restaurant they were working for was on its prime too.
Yeah,
Like,
but
we
then
were
until they tore
kicking
that
ass.
wall down.
Yes, and we were kicking ass and everything. And I remember it was like, is it really always like this? And yeah, because I switched companies to a different one, still in the airport.
Yeah, I heard.
It didn't change. Yeah, I was like, you know what? Thank y'all so much. Change of management was happening. I was like, yeah, I'm on a tip.
Oh yeah, I heard that he
Yeah.
left and things.
Well,
like
I
that.
actually left before he did.
Oh yeah.
He promoted people that he should not have promoted first, and so then I was like,
I think I got an
Yeah,
idea of who
yep.
you're talking about.
and so I
yeah.
was like, I'm gonna get fired, and no, we're gonna just bow out. Thank you for the time.
Remember when I went back on the street side, and I don't know if you worked that day. They called me. I called in, and because I went to go bartend on the street
Yes,
side that night, and then I was like, I
Addison,
closed.
right?
Louisville.
They took you. Okay.
Yeah, I was at Louisville, and then I closed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm at least gonna give him the benefit of the doubt to go in. So I legit closed and went like legit in, like I, cause you know, staying company, I had the
Yeah.
same uniform on.
Yeah.
So after I closed, finished that up, did my my checkout, you know, had the manager do the walkthrough. I jumped in my car. I think I went to McDonald's. I went to
to get some fast food.
yeah, I went to go get some fast food, and then I drove, and then I just sat where we had to get the shuttles,
Yes.
and I drove there. But you put me on. You put me on to shuttle A. I started
Yeah.
doing it. You put me on.
I
so,
was like, no, don't even,
yeah.
don't. But word of advice, anyone who wants to go to the airport, if you're in Terminal E, don't fuck with E. Go to A.
Yeah, you
A
put me
runs
on.
A and C, but C, there's so many people. But A though, I was like, even
Yeah,
whenever
it's closer and you get in faster.
Yes,
Yeah.
and everything, and it was at the time it was a nicer terminal because
Yeah.
we went in when E was shit. It was like the
They had
shittiest terminal.
Yeah, they look at the flights there.
Yeah, it's
Look what flights
I
we
know,
had. We
and
had one that started with an S. Everybody not, and we ain't
An
talking
F,
about. Yeah.
an A. Oh, it was terrible.
Oh my
It
god.
was so bad.
But yeah, so I get there, I did that, and then as I did that, they found out that I was working on street side.
Yes, I was. Yes,
Yeah, they
I was
found out.
there.
They
and
found
he
out I
was
called.
so mad.
So then I was, and I didn't
I
have, and
remember.
I didn't have my badge neither. So I had to call them. They was already
They were
mad about
done.
that.
They were done.
So then they made me work the whole shift, and they asked me, "Can I stay late?" I was like, "No," because I was tired, man. I was
remember.
working
Oh, I
on
was
home
rem-
shifts.
Oh, he was
And
so mad.
then he sat here, and they like, "I'm gonna need your badge." I was like, "That's cool. I don't got it." And then they was like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "What you apologizing for?" They're like, "We letting you go." I'm like, "You basically not." I was about to. Today was my last day anyway. I was leaving.
Oh my God. I remember we had this conversation too. He was so mad because he's like, you know how he is.
Yeah.
He's still alive, how he is.
Yeah.
He's like, the fuck? And I was like, what? You've been passing him on. I remember you were passing him on to the bar and they're giving him the bar. Like, I would leave you.
Yeah, I took it a better opportunity, man.
Absolutely. Because
Who wouldn't do that?
And at the time, the restaurant we were at, we're back in Louisville, it had established regulars. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like you were walking in
I
to
don't.
nothing.
Yeah.
And they already knew us.
Yeah.
So you weren't walking into being like, I have to establish my clientele again. No, you were walking into already set up.
Yeah, I was already. We was already there. We left
Yeah.
to go to the airport, and then they contacted me and they said, "Hey, man, you can come back as a bartender." Why would I not take that opportunity?
And you kept getting passed up. I would have done it too. And that's why I
Yeah,
was like,
he
you
kept.
keep pass. And then he was like, well, he was gonna get his turn. No, he
When?
wasn't.
Yeah, you keep.
No, he
Yo, don't sit
wasn't.
here and do
Because
that.
you brought him on with the pretense he's gonna be a bartender, and then you passed him up for somebody else. I was like,
Yeah,
no, you
I
weren't.
was
You
like,
weren't. You did him dirty. I was like,
I'm
you
like,
did him
I'm not
dirty.
about.
I get it.
I'm not about to do that. And then only reason he found out was
You know exactly who.
no, it wasn't even her.
Really?
It wasn't her. It was the other manager, like the younger one that used to be a bartender, but it was her. She caught me. She was in there eating, and she walked up to the bar top, and then she was like, "So you called in today? What you here?" I was like, "Oh,
I thought this whole time
nah,
it was
it wasn't.
her, but I'm glad we know who her is.
Yeah, it wasn't her. It wasn't
Okay.
her who told.
Oh, I knew and I remember being like, let us see you next Tuesday. How
Yeah.
you gonna do our boy like that? Because we
Nah.
came together.
Yeah, it wasn't her. It was nah.
Okay. I know
Yeah.
exactly who you're talking about too.
It wasn't. But I could see why a lot of people thought, but it wasn't. And at the end, if you call in, the manager sees you. I knew what time was going to happen.
If it makes you feel better, she did get fired shortly after you left.
I heard.
Oh, it was bad. That one was bad too.
I heard. What happened?
The rumor. This is a rumor. I don't know personally because we didn't talk like that. But I think stealing. That was a rumor. Not sure if it's true. Didn't bother to find out. Didn't want to find out.
I feel it.
But a lot of people were thrown under the bus, especially the other shoe we're talking about. She's like, no, it was her, and now I'm like, well, I can see it. But at this point, you're the one that's caught. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But for being the airport though, we had a lot of drama.
Man,
I think it's the industry though.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
the
the industry for sure. I remember. I got a funny story. Then I got a funny story before I move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Remember, it was this one guy. Oh, he used to always have his hair like slick to the side or slick back to the side and stuff like that. White guy, kind of stocky.
3 come to mind. Give me more details.
Ah,
Name drop. Well, can we bleep it out?
yeah,
Name
yeah.
drop.
No, you can. I'm not dissing him. I think
Oh.
I'm not talking about it. He used to hang out with this one girl named Trista. They was like roommates. It was
Not
a white guy and there was a black girl named Trista, wore glasses.
I know who I see them. You're talking about Seth?
Yes, that's
Okay.
his name. I remember
Okay.
it was me, Seth, and I think somebody else. We all went out. We all went out that night. And I forgot where we went, but I was like, "Hey, bro, I gotta take you home." And I was like, "Where do you live?" He was not responding. He was out of there. He was just in. I was like, I tried waking him up. I'm like, "Hey, bro, like I gotta legit take you home." I was like, "I gotta go home, man." Like
You know what that reminds me of?
what?
The only time I think you and I got to that point with each other was when we did remember how we had they had the competitions? Our company had the competitions.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was the very first one we went to.
Yeah.
And I remember we were like, "Oh, free alcohol? Say less."
Oh yeah. Wasn't that at the House of Blues?
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
and
about. now.
I remember you and I being like, "The fuck are we gonna get home?"
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think Sergio was there. No,
Yeah,
he wasn't.
no,
No, he
no.
wasn't. Yeah. I met him afterwards.
Yes.
But I remember
it was
that.
it was
free
me,
drinks.
you. Yes, it was
free
me,
drinks all
you,
night.
the other one,
Mm-hmm.
and there was somebody, and then my
Steven.
ex.
Yeah,
Yes,
Steven. Yeah.
it was us 4.
And his friend.
Yes. No. Did his friend?
Friend, his friend did go. I forgot her name. Her
Oh
name.
yes, she was a regular at Friday.
Yeah.
She had enough. That woman had enough points to make it on her. I think she got an invite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
So-
our GM. I remember, and I was like, because you could, I think you.
I was bartending at the time. That's before
Yeah.
I moved up.
And you could hang. And I remember I was like, that was the only time I ever saw you that messed up. And I was like, how are we going home?
Yeah, I used to be able to hang.
Same. 9 months without drinking does that to you.
I'm almost on 3 years.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
I
almost on 3 years.
I remember there was the end. I don't want to talk about the industry in that way, but that's a thing that I can. There's a point I think in every server bartender's life where like you kind of reach a point of like I'm drinking too much, and then you're like, oh shit, maybe I should scale it back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cause remember me and my buddy, we and him used to go to like Fry Street every Thursday night. If me and him
No.
worked together, we went we would make money. Like we would make
Just
like
to spend it.
yeah, just to go out there. And then it
Yeah.
was crazy because it was dollar double wells and we would come back.
And it was in McCormick Wells, which is the worst part.
Yeah, and
oh,
but we
it's so
spent
bad.
we spent like $50 to $60
I'm
on
not-
dollar
I'm
double on dollar double well night. And it got to the point we used to go to this fast food that sells Mexican food.
Yeah.
And then they got to the point they knew our orders every Thursday.
You just walked in like, oh, we know.
Yeah, they knew our order. We go through the drive-thru, they knew our orders automatically. We like, hey man, and he like, yeah, you want this and this, and let me guess, the other guy, you got the other guy with you? He's like, yeah, so he wants this and this, and we used to go
They
there
used to
all
ask
the
you about
time.
the other guy.
Cause we and him always rode together.
Yeah.
He would drive. Cause I drive sometimes. He'd drive, but he drove majority of the time. So because I think he said he didn't want to get too messed up, so that's why.
And then that never went as planned. You always got too messed up at Fry.
For sure.
Oh, the amount of stories that, the amount of times me and Shannon got fucked up at Fry Street.
I can
is
see that.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I remember my mom being like, "Hey, when you do an intervention, I'm like, I don't think you realize how
Jesus.
bad I could be. Like, it could be
Jesus.
worse."
Okay.
Like that woman, and now I think it's because we're coming from a really small town.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Del Rio, 30,000 people. You don't
You
have
said
that.
where?
Del Rio.
Where's that?
Exactly. So think San Antonio,
Uh-huh.
2.5 hours southwest of that. Remember where that shooting happened in Uvalde? Where like the Robb Elementary, we're like super close. I think we're like an hour and a half from there.
Yeah.
So it's like the same highway.
Okay.
If you follow all the way down, like
Okay.
you can spit into Mexico. That's how close we are.
Okay.
And coming from that small town, you don't have that. Bars close. I remember I took my now boyfriend there to visit, and he was like, it's like 11:30. He goes, "Hey, let's go out to eat." And I'm like, "There's nothing open." He's like, "What do you mean?"
There's nothing open.
I'm like, "Whataburger's open, honey. Like nothing stays open
I'm
this
gonna
late."
bleep that out. I'm gonna have to bleep that out.
Fast food places are open. That's it. And he was like, "What?" And so like when I came over here and I got in the industry and then I did college and everything, and so same like you. Every day after work, every week, every day I'm off. Hey, want to go to Fry? Get a couple drinks, and it was
for
never.
sure.
And my mom would be like, "When you doing an intervention?" I'm like, "Why?" I was like, "What do you mean? I could be worse. Like this could be worse.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be
It
worse."
could be. So, in the beginning, you said that you got out of the industry. So, what made you get out of the industry?
So I broke the cardinal rule, which was get into management. Right?
Mhm.
It got to the point where in my restaurant things got really bad right after COVID. So I did it all the way through COVID. COVID hit. We got out for 7 months.
Yeah.
I didn't have work for 7 months because we were considered a bar at the place I worked
Yeah.
at, and airport. So it's like no.
Oh, yeah.
So I was out of the job before spring break. I didn't come back till I think it was like right before Halloween, like the week of Halloween we came back.
Yeah. Damn.
And so since then, like they kind of took that and remodeled. So we started getting like a whole like it kind of felt like a revolving door of managers. And I just you know how I am. I'm very vocal. I'm very opinionated. And I was
Yeah,
like,
you
this
are.
is shit. I was like, what type of I can do a better job. And finally, the GM at the time was like, then prove it to me. And I was like, okay, sir, you're not gonna challenge me like that and me not do it.
Oh,
so I
yeah,
did
for
it.
sure.
Did the 6-month training, and they switched me to a different concept. Love the concept. No hard feelings. It's just the hours. I was working up to 50, 55 hours a week. And while I was pregnant, I literally worked up to the day before I was due.
Oh,
So
damn.
okay. Yes and no. So my last day of work was Wednesday,
Mhm.
right? Like in December, Wednesday. I think it's the 6th or the 7th. Thursday, I go in for a checkup. Everything's looking good. My water breaks at night. So Friday, she's born. Friday was my first day of maternity leave.
Oh, shit.
She was supposed to come that Thursday, like of that week. So she
Yeah.
came a week early, basically. So I literally worked up until I was due. And so it got to the point where they're waiting for me to come back. And it's just like I look at the schedule and it's like it's a big concept. We're really busy and we're short staffed. We've been short staffed for a while.
Fuck yeah, it was hard
And
after that.
it's so I was like, I can't commit to 50 hours. I cannot commit to 40 hours. And my company doesn't do part-time management. That's the bad thing about
Yeah, a
it.
lot of them don't unless you're
Well,
gonna be a shift manager
yeah,
or
well,
key
the thing
manager. Yeah,
was, before COVID, we had that. We had
but
supervisors. We
yeah,
had
you
all of
couldn't
that.
money
And
wise.
COVID hit and we came back and they're like only full-time managers are allowed. So I was like, "Hey, my kid's going through some stuff medically. She's going to be on antibiotics. She's going to be getting monitored like not I wouldn't say monthly, but we have to keep a close eye on her. So I'm not taking her. I'm not putting her in daycare. It's going to have to work with the days that my boyfriend works, my parents are off. Like we're going to have to work something out and it just wasn't working. So I stepped down. I didn't come back after maternity leave. I was like, I cannot, for my own sanity, I cannot come back. And I already know you're not going to give me part time hours. Reached out to HR. I said, hey, I'm dipping out. Sorry. Like, I can't do this. And they were like, whenever you're ready to come back. Because they knew the situation with my kid. It
Yeah,
wasn't like they weren't in the loop because I had to push back my return a couple
yeah,
weeks
yeah.
because she was hospitalized. And so they were like, whenever you're
Sorry
ready
to
to come,
hear that.
she has reflux in the bladder and it's just,
Yeah,
and it gave her a UTI
yeah.
that got really bad because in newborns, it can get really bad really quickly. So within 24 hours of her getting the UTI, she got a blood infection.
Oh man.
So, and so they were like, hey, because she's so young, we got to put her on preventive antibiotics. Because
Yeah,
apparently with babies, they can't tell that they're in pain.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like they can't tell. So she doesn't know she's hurting. She doesn't know what's going on. She just kind of lives her life like normal. She didn't never cry. She never, and I didn't know it was until it was too late. She had a fever. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to push her back. And so they were always in the loop. And finally I was like, hey, like this is getting real. We're going to urologist. We're going to do like all, I was like, we have to check her back in a year. In a year, we may have to do surgery. I was like, I can't in the right mind come back for 50 hours and not see my kid, except the 2 days that I'm off.
hmm
And so I dipped out. And I just so happened that I'm opening up a new store. It's a retail store. I'm opening up a new retail store. And they actually were hiring for part-time managers. And I said,
Okay.
cool, I'll stay in the management field, but now I'm doing retail.
Yeah,
And I started there this week.
yeah.
So
How was
that's
that?
it's different. I will say it's nice because it's one of those where like retail you have set hours. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not like I'm not like we close at like 7 o'clock on
Okay.
a Sunday. We're closed at 8 on a weekday. You know,
Yeah.
and it's I can't name drop or I would tell you, but it's a particular type of retail. It's not clothing, it's activewear.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And so it's I'm dealing with people more in the sense of like helping them out more because you know like in the restaurant industry when you're a manager it's more like when there's a problem already.
Yeah.
You're not getting them from the get-go. You're getting them when they're already upset and you're already like, hey, this isn't good or this isn't bad, you know.
Yeah.
And so with them it's more like I'm helping them from the floor up, like, hey, like, can I find this brand? It's a lot less complaints. I have yet to deal with the shitty guest that's like super upset or whatever. It's a nice change of pace. It's not. It's funny because they're like, well, it's gonna be a new store opening. We're gonna be busy, da, da. And they gave me the numbers of sales they're projecting, and I'm thinking, we did that on like a month, sir. Like, I'll be fine. I promise you. And they're telling me the hours that they want me to work, and I'm like, that was like I'm working in a day, like I'm working in a week what I worked in a day. I'm like, I'll be fine. I promise you. Like, I will be fine.
That's what's up, man. I'm
So
happy.
yeah, no, I had to. I had to. It's very hard going back, and especially because like I also couldn't go back to serving bartending. As much as I loved it at the time, as much as money as it gave me, as much as adventures I did, and like all of that, it's very hard to go from the mindset of you used to manage and now you have to go back to being under somebody
And know
and
you
then
can do a better job than
than
them.
them.
Yeah, I
And
know
it
what
was,
you mean.
and I was like, I hate because you always know those people that used to be managers that step down and they love to manage the staff and I didn't want to be that server or
Yeah,
bartender.
that's kind of hard. Like when you step down and you try to be a bartender or server
Yeah,
again, and then like managers see that on your resume because they like, okay,
yeah,
you could probably do a great job, but how are you going to interact with things don't go your way, or if you're not making
ex-
enough money or things, you're going to leave us. So
and I
yeah,
already knew that. And I also did say, and that was my rule. And I think I told you too. I was like, if I ever leave the airport, I'm leaving the industry. I
yeah, I
cannot do
remember you
street
said
side
that. Yeah,
anymore. And so I did it. I was like, cool, I'm gonna shift focus to retail. They gave me part time. I love it. It's great. So far, it's going good. Like I said, it's my first week of training, but it doesn't. I'm very excited to open a new store because I've never done that.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
like,
what's up.
yeah. So we're excited about that, and so I'll let you know in a couple months if it's
Yeah,
better than the restaurant
yeah,
industry.
let me know for sure. Let me know for sure. So that one, like, do you believe couples can work at a workplace together? How do you feel about that?
Funny you mentioned that. So, because you know my history, that's funny. So yes and no, I will say, and here's why. Because I've done it both ends. So at the time, I was a server. My ex was the bartender.
Mm-hmm.
I left to go to the airport. They were better about that, and then they followed. And then it was, if you never work together, it's great, right?
Yeah.
And so then my current boyfriend at the time was my manager when I was a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, and then I stepped in, and then at the time my company's like, hey, no, you can't fraternize anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? These are all my friends. Like, I have no more friends.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I got no friends. I can now hang out with you. Can we start hanging out? Like, introduce me to people that you know. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And that's how we hit it off. Couldn't work with him. He has severe ADHD. That man, oh, it was like, I couldn't. So I told him, I was like, as much as I like you, sir, can't work with you as a manager to manager. Which, I mean, even then the company found out we were dating, so they split us up anyway.
Yeah.
And now he's a GM and I stayed as a manager. But it was different because when it was like a change of dynamic, like I was making more money, it was a problem. Like, I'm talking about the first relationship. It kind of felt like it wasn't gonna work, and then they went to the airport as well, and then we never saw each other. So I couldn't tell you if it works or doesn't work with that end. And then with this one, before it even got too complicated, they shifted us. But I will say, I think if you are emotionally stable enough, yes, just to be dating someone in the industry in general, because we both know how those go.
Yeah.
So just to be dating like a bartender, to be dating a server, it's a whole different ballgame to begin with.
I think it's rough. Like, it's not rough.
It's the hours.
It's not that. It's just depend on, like you said, you guys both emotionally stable and both mature enough to handle that. And I did it too.
I know.
Yeah, I did that too. And like, it was. I think. Well, me and her worked different shifts. Like, she was more the morning person. I was more the night person.
Whenever you work different shifts, it's amazing because you never see each other. And then you realize, I don't know you. Because that's what happened with us was I stopped working mornings with the first relationship. And we both started working nights. And we were both at the same time. And that's when I was like, oh.
Yeah,
things can work.
When you work shifts and you live together, work the same shift, go home together, it's rough. Yeah,
it's bad.
The first time I remember, when that happened, I think we worked like one shift together, and sometimes we get scheduled on the same shift. But I thought it was like when we got to work the same shift every blue moon. Shit, we carpool together.
Yeah, it's great. But when you do the same schedule, same hours,
it's not gonna work because you don't have time to you guys.
And it was a conversation we had because he was like, "Were we always this bad?" And I said, "No, it was that we were never together."
Yeah,
like we saw each other in spurts, and we were not like it was nice to see each other because we never saw each other. And then I had to switch off because I was the opening bartender.
Yeah,
I was in at work at 3:45 in the morning, and I was getting home at 1. He was going in at noon, getting home at like 10 or 11. So I was asleep when he got home. So we only saw each other on our days off. So it was great, And then I shift my focus. I did more nights, and then we were like, oh, we really weren't that compatible to begin with. Now, with the current relationship, we never had that issue because we were managers. We always had to work different schedules to begin with. And even now, I have to work days that he's off.
Yeah.
And on days that he works, I'm home with the baby.
Yeah.
So I think it also helps the age too. Like now I'm more grown up. We can vocalize more of like our issues and like, hey, you're not pulling your weight, or hey, this, and there's no hard feelings either.
I feel that.
So I think it changed. I think it changes when you're looking at it like my relationship when I was 25 to now that I'm 30, 31. And it's like there's a big change because now I'm more vocal about my needs and I can do it in a more constructive way too. I'm not just here like to tear you down. I can say that, I'm not as toxic as I used to be too.
No, I definitely feel that. Yeah,
so
it's all about
I think it depends on the emotional maturity of the person
Yeah.
to really answer that question. So yes, it can work if you're that type of person to be mature enough to be like, hey, there's a problem and address it head on.
No, yeah, I definitely feel that. And speaking about like relationships. So, like I said, I always talk about things that's trending in the world.
Yeah.
So it's this thing that's going on that's trending on the internet. This lady caught her husband cheating on this lady caught her husband cheating on her.
Okay.
So his dad died and they made ashes, and
Yeah.
they had ashes. So since she caught him cheating, she poured his dad ashes over the bridge.
Shut the fuck no. Oh, it's on site. I'm killing you. What? Like it's our beef. That's the thing. It's don't get my dad involved. Like what the No, it's on site. You touch my dad's ashes, you're fucking dead. I'm sorry. No. Don't fuck with my No. That is terrible. No. Like oh god.
That's a real thing. It's a real thing. My thing is why? Why would you do that? Like,
Why the dad's ashes though? Like you can't get that back. That man's in the wind now. Like you know what I mean? He's in the wind.
oh my gosh.
Like how are you gonna do him like that?
Like why? Why couldn't you just like bust some tires, break a window?
3 of them, ladies, 3 of them, not 4. Insurance won't cover 4, but they will,
Like why would you
No, won't
do
cover
that?
3, they'll cover 4. That's what it was.
Yeah, they cover 3, but they
yeah, they
won't.
won't
If
cover
they
4.
all do 4,
Yeah.
they won't cover that.
But it's no, it's on site. No, don't like I cheat. My dad didn't cheat on you. I cheated on you. Don't do that. Oh no. No.
So, on that topic, what do you think was one of the? If you don't have to answer, if you don't want to,
Okay.
it's a question you don't have to answer if you
Yeah,
don't want
what's
to.
up?
What is one of the worst things that happened to you, or one thing that you did that you can say that you did that was messed up?
Okay.
As you looking back.
So looking back, I got abused in one relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That was bad. That was bad. And in another one, I have cheated. I have been the cheater, and it sucks. Looking back at it, I was very emotionally immature. I wasn't happy in the relationship, so I did cheat, and then I got abused in the other one. But I wouldn't say. Towards the end, it was now mutual abuse. At first, it wasn't, and then it did.
Yeah.
I will say that. So I think it's hard because you at the time you find the excuse of, well, you're not mentally well. I know that,
Mm-hmm.
and so let's not go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's still abuse.
Yeah.
And so it was towards the end. I can say it was mutual abuse, emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It never got physical. On my end, anyway.
Yeah.
It was a lot of emotional and mental abuse. I will say that. I think I went to therapy for it. I was in therapy for like over 2.5 years for it. And not even just that, but just everything in general of like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Because at some point, it's like my therapist said, I can push and push and push you, and until you react, it doesn't become an explosion.
Yeah.
So like, what was it triggering? Like, what triggered you to react? And that's when you start thinking of like, oh, it's things that like you grew up with or like traumas that you've seen. And so I can honestly, now that I'm grown up, I can say like I was very traumatized by my childhood, by like other things that you've seen. So it was towards the end, it was very mutually abusive towards the end.
I feel that.
It was bad. I will say that. I'm not proud of that relationship. And, and we did touch base, and we did kind of both aired it all out, and we did apologize. He apologized. I apologized. No hard feelings now.
Yeah.
He wasn't mentally well. I also wasn't mentally well. I got therapy. He got better meds. Great.
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking bad about it, but the relationship was shit. But, and then the cheating, I was like 20. I was in college. I was in college. This was like the guy I did in high school. I was like, oh, I went to my first college party, found a cute boy, and I was like, ooh, I like you. And then it was like, fucking stupid, dude. Like, just break up. Like, and I did. That day that I kissed that boy, I was like, hey, dude, we're done. He's like,
Then
what?
You went back and go kiss him again.
Yeah. I was like, hey. So, and I remember it was a house party. Let me tell you, it was a house party.
So
And I had I had a car.
We done.
Yes.
I'm gonna go do my thing.
I had a car, and I invited a friend, and she's like, okay, so what are we doing here? And I said, what do you mean? She's like, well, like, if you find a cute boy, what are you doing? And I said, well, we'll see how it goes. Like, whatever. Like, we're miles and miles away, right? I wasn't thinking I was gonna find a cute boy. I was like, whatever, you know. And then we got to the party and I did. And then I kissed the cute boy. And then I'm like, hey, dude, I gotta go outside. He goes, what? I gotta make a phone call. Fucking ding, ding, ding. Hey, so I just hooked up with this guy. We're over. And like, Glink. I like turn off my phone at the time. It was like the fucking BlackBerry, you know?
Yeah.
Turn that shit off, go back to the party, like it never fucking happened. And now I'm like, I can't believe I fucking did that. Like,
I
it's
got
not
something that can top that.
like it's not an excuse that I'm 20. Like, it's
I got
not
something
an
that can top that.
excuse.
So I once dated this one girl, and I thought she was annoying, and I didn't have the heart to break up with her. So
Did I
I
know this
lied.
girl?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't. And then I lied to her. I told her I had heart problems. I was about to die.
Shut
And
the
it-
no, you didn't.
I'm being dead ass, and I said I had like 2 to 3 months to live.
So this girl's probably now like, fuck you.
If she
Oh.
sees this, she was like, "This motherfucker didn't
Dude,
die."
she probably thinking you got better, you got treatment, you did whatever. Now she's finding out, no, this motherfucker lied to me. Oh, if she hits you back up, you better be like, hey, dude.
Hell
So
no,
she found out.
blocked. Hell no, blocked.
My
Blocked. I blocked her.
no, my boyfriend has that. He goes block and delete, baby, block
yeah,
and delete.
I blocked her. So if she even tries to like, look my name up,
What, she's blocked.
yeah, it's blocked. Like you can't do nothing.
That annoying.
Yeah.
How long were y'all together for?
Not even that long.
Not enough to.
It was like right after me and her broke up.
Okay.
So it was like it wasn't like a serious relationship.
Oh,
It was,
you were just looking for the rebound. Is what I call that.
yeah, but it was. I feel like it was a little bit emotional ties in that.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, yo, I just went to the doctor. He's like, what's going
No,
on?
you
Like,
did not hit her with that.
I did. I like, man, I just went to the doctor, man. I guess.
And you weren't even that young either. You're what, like 22, 23?
I was older when we broke. I was like 25 when we broke up.
Oh shit, man, you. how my boyfriend says, you ain't shit. You
I was
ain't
like 20.
shit.
I was like 26, 27 when I did.
Well, and the fact that she believed you, I would have been
Hold
like,
on. This is the phone call. This is the phone call.
oh, it was through a. Oh, you really ain't shit. Not even in person.
Because the point is, I'm gonna laugh, so I gotta do it over the phone. So this is the phone call. I was like, man, because I told her I was going to the a doctor. And I
Yeah.
was like, yo, man, I just got some bad news. She's like, what's wrong? I was like, the doctor, man, they called me. They said, man, my heart, I have a rare heart condition that's fucking up, man. What's it called? I Googled it. I forgot. Well, I don't know the name of it now.
Yeah.
I Googled it, and I was like, I told her the name. I'm like, yeah, man, they said I got like 2 to 3 months to live, man.
Okay, number one, how old was she? How old was she when you told her this?
I was 27, so
Uh-huh.
she was like 25.
Okay, because number two, I'd be like, they don't tell you these things over the phone.
No, I told her I went to a doctor's
Okay,
appointment.
I
I
was
was telling her over the phone.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be
Yeah.
like, number
No,
one.
I played this out. Yeah, I told her I went to a doctor's appointment, but
And they told you that. Okay, I was gonna be
yeah,
like,
I said.
sir,
So
number
I already
one,
had this
no.
planned out. Like I had this already 100% planned out. Like I knew what I was gonna do. I told her, I was like, yo, I'm about to go to the doctor. Man, I've been having chest pain. Lying. I didn't even have chest pain. I didn't have chest pain.
You were building this up. Oh,
Yeah, I had to, you can't come up with a story like this.
You could
when
have ghosted her too, though.
I feel like that's rude.
Then that wasn't rude. That wasn't
I
rude.
feel like that's rude if you go somebody, man. Cause then you got hear me out. Reason I feel like it's rude when you go somebody, cause then you got this person thinking like, what did I do wrong? What did I do? Is it something about me?
Well, I get that.
So
but
then, but at least if I lie like this and they don't put that pressure on them and mentally screw them
I
up.
mean, I understand both sides because you're right, but also to find out, like, well, I mean, I'm sure she's not gonna find out because you've blocked her everywhere. But like, I guess knowing, I was like, that ain't shit. Like,
yeah. Oh, so then what else happened? I was like, yeah, like, got this much time, man. They said I got this. I'm like, look, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm like, I really think that I gotta focus on this. I got a kid. I got all of this. I need to focus on that and spend my last times with her. I need you to be free. We only known each other for like a month and a half. Like, it's not fair for you
Oh
to
my
sit here with
God.
me with that why you can go do this with your life. You got things. You about to graduate college. Just do that. And before you even say anything, I'm just gonna hang up this phone because it's gonna be too hard to
No.
discuss this. And I hung up and I went out.
And the thing is like shit that like you didn't get found out. Like that pisses me off. Like, sir, oh no.
You know where I got the idea from? So one of my homeboys, he was talking to this girl that was in the military, and then
Did you hit her with the same thing?
no, listen. So he was talking to this girl that was in the military, and her friend wrote him on Instagram or Facebook and say, "Hey, I'm such friend. She died over here overseas in combat. 6 months later, we in the mall. He sees her with another dude.
What?
How toxic can you be?"
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what made me think of that.
No. Oh my. What? People ain't
My thing
shit.
is, they was talking for like 6 to 7 months. At least we was a month.
Yeah, I get
6 to
that.
7 months. That's a little bit of time. You know,
Yeah.
you built
You
building
built at
something.
some
Like,
point.
yeah, like you guys are feeling each other now. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You guys spending the night at each other's houses. You guys
You're
going,
practically moving in at that
Yeah.
point.
Whoa, I don't know about
Man, I was pregnant at that point.
Hey.
You know? So like hey, I was 30. I was like, hey, baby, you're not wasting your time. Let's fucking do this.
But older you get,
Yeah.
it's different. But when
It
you're in
is
your
different.
early mid
don't get
20s,
near me.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So
You're
then,
sleeping over. You're not moving in.
Yeah, so I'm like, you made this man think that you died. This man grieved. This man
You know
didn't
what?
talk
That's
to
worse.
nobody else.
That's worse. Oh.
This man was heartbroken.
And like the worst thing is like you saw that too.
Yeah,
Like,
at
as
least
your
she didn't. At
buddy.
least me and her didn't walk into each other.
Yet.
Well, I don't go to certain areas.
And now we know why you avoid certain areas.
Yeah, I don't go to certain areas. Well, I don't care now. Like
Now it's been so long. That you
yeah, I'm
be
like, oh, I got cured.
of whatever that
They
was.
lied. Oh no, wrong test results. Wrong test results.
That happens.
Yeah,
That
why
does
didn't
happen.
you call me back? I forgot.
I was so overwhelmed. I have a kid, you know.
Yeah. I was living life, but yeah. So we about to wrap this up. So I do a new segment every time I'm about to wrap up.
Okay.
I did movies, I did music, so now I'm about to do TV shows. So name your top 3 TV shows that you like.
Right now, I am really into Abbott Elementary.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's my shit.
Dead to Me.
Okay. What the hell is that?
Okay, so Dead to Me is basically this girl that's a obituary writer,
Mhm.
and when she gets new obituaries, the person that's dead comes talks to her.
Mhm.
It's a comedy.
Okay.
It's by, I think her name is Gina Rodriguez.
Is
the
it
one
on
from-
Netflix?
No, it's on Hulu. It's
no, I
the
don't know
girl
what it
from Jane the Virgin.
Oh, okay. It's from the
And-
girl from Cloud9, from that Super Cloud9, from that store.
No,
Oh.
that's America Ferrera.
No.
Yes.
I don't
Anyway, and I know this is super, super like cliche of me, but Bluey. My sister got me into Bluey.
Fuck
But
is that?
Bluey is you don't know Bluey? Does your baby not watch Bluey?
Well,
I
you
mean,
gotta think, she's almost 9.
that don't mean nothing.
My daughter watches Hey Jesse.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, when you look,
You're gonna find out.
You're gonna find out.
Basically, it's a show about dogs.
I heard of that now.
It's
I heard
good.
about that.
So my sister got me into it because my kid is still at that. She's 4 months. She don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck she's looking at.
No.
She's anything colorful she stares at
Yeah,
right now.
for sure.
So my sister's like, we gotta get into Bluey, and I was like, the fuck is Bluey? She's like, it's my favorite show, and I was like, okay. So we started watching it, and it's cute. It has a lot of cute messages, and like if as a parent you see it and you're like, I can see why the parents get into it.
Okay.
So it's I'm starting to get into it. I'm getting it. Like right now they're wrapping it up for like the season finale and they're going to like this big old episode. So we're
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
okay.
But yeah, those are my top 3 shows right now.
All right. My top 3 TV shows that I watch. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
You know what's messed up?
Yes.
Because you know how people say I don't show emotions in my face? Somebody said I remind them of Captain Hulk.
Oh, I can see that. But
I
even
do
that
not-
man showed more emotion than you did.
I feel like I show a lot of emotions in my face.
Captain. Oh, rest in peace, though.
Yeah,
that
rest
man.
in
Oh,
peace.
rest in peace.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Okay.
and it's this new show on Peacock called Twisted Metal. It was a video game. It's dope.
Okay.
Yeah, that. And what else do my go-to go to sleep, whatever, Law and Order SVU. Dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun.
okay. Are you caught up with that?
Of course.
Okay. Are Olivia and what's his face Stabler a thing now or not
I
yet?
don't know.
What do you mean? I thought you were caught up.
Yeah, but they don't really.
They're not
Yeah,
yet?
no,
Ah.
not yet. Yeah,
I'm
like
tired
you
of the
know,
will
like
they, won't they.
so when me and my daughter put up the Christmas tree, everybody
Mhm.
say, "Oh man, you gotta be playing Christmas music and all." No,
No.
we was watching Law and Order.
You're like, no.
Dun dun. Yeah, we was
Oh.
smooth watching. I got videos. She was looking at it. I'm like, hey, you got to put the ornaments on. Come on.
She's
But-
like, you can't be watching this. You're
Yeah.
9 years old.
Yeah, well, nah, man. It teaches them like can't go to a certain party when them old ass teachers like, hey, I can show you some extra credit. Hell no, you
Nah.
say no. Yeah, so all of that. Before we get off, I got one segment to say about
Okay.
that. So when I was a freshman in high school, I never forget this lady name. Her name was Miss Kemp. She was like, I always had them old ass Miss Tweety Bird teachers, but she was like the youngest teacher I ever had. She was like nice looking.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember I always used to make her laugh. And so me and my buddy used to always make her
Oh.
laugh. And then I remember one day, what happened? Oh yeah, she was like, hey, Chris, Justin, can y'all stay after class and help me move these boxes? And I'm looking around. Ain't no fucking boxes. I was like, oh, snaps, we about to be in there. And I'm like, hey, bro, ain't no boxes. I think we about to be in there. And then he said, oh, snap, out loud. Oh, snaps, you think we about to smash? I was like, come on, man.
Here.
And then I swear, I'm not lying to you. She like, oh, never mind. I don't need you guys' help. We ain't friends no more.
We ain't friends no
No, we was
more.
not friends no
I
more.
believe you.
We
Oh,
was
that's
not
terrible.
friends. We was not friends.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna wrap that. We were
That's-
not friends. No
We're not
more.
friends. We
Yeah.
don't talk no more.
Oh
You
no,
ruined it
after
for
that,
you.
oh yeah, for sure.
I believe you.
For sure. But that's end for that. For this episode. Thank you guys for watching the podcast called The Industry. Like I said, it would be out every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Matter of fact, today we shooting on a Wednesday. I can't even watch my premiere on there today. But thank you for the people that is watching my premiere without me having to post it. Thank you guys for tuning in, subscribing to my channel. Like I said, please follow on Instagram, _industry24, _industry24. I want to give a shout out to, again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem, anytime. And like I said, congrats on being the
Thank
newest
you.
mom. Thank you.